Hey, this is Leana Hafer for IGN, and we are taking our first look at Dune Spice Wars, which is an RTS 4X hybrid, kind of, from the creators of Northgard. And it's set in the Dune Universe. It's not obviously directly based on the recent movie, although they do kind of have some similar aesthetics in some places to this. It is going to be a bigger 4X game. A match of Northgard you can finish in 30 minutes to an hour. They're targeting this to be more like a 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 hour sort of experience. Oh, those guys are going to get sandwormed. Yeah, that's part of the job. You're on Arrakis. What's going to happen? But as you can see, it is like a true RTS. You can actually micro your units. Microing units isn't going to be like the main thing that you're doing. It's not like a StarCraft, but it definitely has a little bit more of that relevance to troop positioning than something like a Civilization. It's real time, and you are going to have to do things like flanking and all that kind of stuff. They're showing a strategic redeployment here, which is something you're going to have to do. It's especially important because, walking around on the sand on Arrakis, it tends to attract some attention from the sandworms. This is kind of the espionage layer that we're looking at here. There's a few different things you can do with spies, including sort of increasing your influence in the Landsraad, which is the council of the great houses, basically, of the Empire in Dune. If you've read the books, they didn't really deal with it that much in the movie, but it's pretty important. You're going to be able to do things like plotting against your rivals politically, which is definitely appropriate to the setting and makes it more than just a matter of, whoever can do the most shooting. This guy's going to harvest some spice here. Obviously, units and spice harvesters will create vibrations. You can attract sandworms, so you might have to go in and extract your guys. Right in the middle of the map here, that's what's called Deep Desert. And your units will naturally consume supplies just from walking around normally, but if they go into that Deep Desert, especially before you get certain technologies that help you be better at operating in Deep Desert, that will drain your supplies really, really fast. They compared it almost to like an ocean in other 4X games, where it's basically a no-go zone, at least until you can get some later game technologies. There's certain types of units like Rangers that can operate better in that kind of harsh environment. And then you're going to be building buildings. Harvesting spice is obviously the main thing. If you see that little yellow and purple bar up in the top left there next to your spice total, that you can actually slide up and down to determine how much spice you're stockpiling and how much you're actually selling to the Chom, which generates your income. That's your money that's coming in all the time. Obviously, that can be affected by things like the tech tree. There's actually some techs that are unique to specific factions as well. They've released, or they've announced Atreides and Harkonnens so far, but there are going to be at least 2 more that we don't know about yet. One of the cool things that the Atreides can do is they can actually take over villages diplomatically, rather than having to actually fight for them. That's one of their kind of big unique things. And it takes a lot longer than if you were to just conquer it, but obviously you don't need to spend the lives of your soldiers. We got Baron Harkonnen here. He is an absolute unit, appropriately enough. You can make deals with him. It might not be the best idea, but maybe you have plans on how you're going to outmaneuver him diplomatically. You can pass resolutions in the Landsraad that can hurt him. Another thing is everybody has to pay a spice tax to the Emperor all the time. And if you set it up so that your opponent misses their spice tax, or if you miss your spice tax, that's very bad. That's where a lot of the strategy comes in with the stockpiling spice versus just turning it into income. Because if you don't have enough of it stored up, when that tax comes due, you're gonna suffer politically and open up some avenues, perhaps, for your enemies to mess with you. So that's Dune Spice Wars. It's going into early access sometime this spring, so fairly soon, I hope. If you are too, and for everything Dune Spice Wars, keep it right here on IGN.